Okay, everybody. So we're continuing on working with fractions here, and we're going to do a couple different problems. So the video is going to stop, so you can try some problems on your own and answer the question and hit continue when you're ready. So this first one, we have negative 2x greater than a half. So looking at this, we would say, okay, I need to divide both sides by negative 2. But we run into this issue on the other side where if we divide by negative 2, we don't really have a way of dividing a fraction by a number. But what we should remember is dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by a negative a half. So just like over here, if we said this was x over negative 2, we could say this, well, I'm going to multiply both sides by a half. Okay, so that's the trick whenever you see something like this where we got a whole number and a fraction both being involved here. So I'm just going to multiply both sides by negative 1 over 2. And what happens? Well, these guys end up canceling. I get left with the x. Now I did multiply or divide by a negative number, so the inequality flips. And 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, and it was a negative because we had a positive times a negative. All right, try the next one. Answer the question whenever you're done answering it. Hit continue to check your work and your answer. Okay, so again, we're solving. There's the variable. Got to do that over here. Now we should be looking at this and going, I have an issue before I even start. I see back-to-back negative signs. And we should be thinking all that does is make a plus sign. They cancel each other out, make a plus. So this is actually m plus 2/3 is less than 1/3. And all we're going to do is subtract 2/3 from both sides. These end up canceling. And we wind up with m less than 1 minus 2 is negative 1 over 3. So this is 1, or this is negative 1/3. So we wind up with a negative m less than negative 1/3. No need to flip the inequality because we did not multiply or divide by a negative number. All right, move on to the next one. On your note guide, it is negative 3/4 x is less than negative 4/7. So go ahead and answer that question when you're ready to check your work and your answer. Hit continue. So we see I have a fraction. Whenever I go to cancel multiplication of a fraction, I multiply by its reciprocal, which is the same thing as dividing. So we do negative 4/3 to both sides. These guys cancel. I get left with x. The inequality flips because I multiplied by a negative. 4 times 4 is 16, so the numerator is 16. The bottom of the fraction, the denominator, is 7 times 3, which is 21. And a negative times a negative is a positive. And this fraction does not simplify. So that is your answer. X is greater than 16 over 21. And our last one, we have m plus 1/3 greater than 3 over 5. Go ahead and answer this question. Hit continue when you're ready to check your work and your answer. So we see that we're solving for m, trying to get rid of plus 1/3, so we're going to subtract a third from both sides. These guys end up canceling. I end up with m greater than, and now I got some fraction work I got to do. I need the least common multiple of 3 and 5, which is 15. So I got to get both denominators to be 15. So to get 5 to 15, I multiply by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. To get 3 to 15, I multiply by 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So this turns out to be 9 over 15. minus 5 over 15, and now I have a common denominator. I can do my subtraction. 9 minus 5 is 4 over. We don't change the bottoms of fractions with addition or subtraction, so this is just 15. So we wind up with m is greater than 4 over 15. All right, move on to your practice assignment. Get some extra work in on these. Be ready for the Module 4 test. Have a good one, everybody.